The last question, Honorable Member for Mazabuka Central.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. In asking the minister my question, I want to cite an example or two why public perception has been that the operation at Mutinta Hichilema's parents' house was an act of police harassment or state intimidation. The example I'm giving, sir, are all crime related. There was gassing in this country.
Honorable Member for Kabwe Central. You are a whip. You can't be running commentary. Continue.
Thank you, sir. I said I'll cite just a couple of examples why people may think that this was a targeted operation. The Deputy Secretary General of PF, Madam Mumbipiri, in the period prior to Mr. Hichilema's arrest under a vexatious and frivolous charge of treason, is quoted as having said, "We'll smoke him out of his house like a rat." And a day later, the police battalions converged at Mr. Hichilema's house, broke his house, took him like a common criminal, eventually transported him back and forth from prison in a dog kennel. There was gassing in this country. Mr. Geoffrey Waliamwamba indicated to the country that he knew those people who were behind the gassing. The police have not arrested anyone, even in the volunteering of that information. When the market, and finally, was gutted at Lusaka City, the Vice President, our owner, Mrs. Winner, seemed to know who those people were. Mr. Speaker, we are all bound by law to remove crime in our country. Honorable Minister, a place called Intercity here at Didan Kimati Road houses criminals who
Honorable Member for Mazabuka Central, I've given you latitude to give a preface, sufficient yes, preface.
Yes, sir.
I'll get to the question.
I'm asking the question. There are criminals at Intercity, and so are they at Kamugodi, at Soweto Market. And you know that, Minister. There's no hiding behind the finger. Why can't the same police go and normalize life at Intercity, where people who are beaten up savagely by your members for simply being identified as people of a different political persuasion, which is not a crime?
What has happened, Honorable Member for Mazabuka Central, is that we've shifted. We've shifted from Shivuyunji, we've gone to another location. And the location has been picked, and you'd like the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs to account. And you've got a right to make him to account. What is happening in the area you've indicated, but not in this context. No, not in this context. Not in this context. That's your question. You've gone to a different area. And I've given you an opportunity to ask your question, and that is your question. The question, we will now proceed. Clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The Health Professions